Hello, my bookish darlings. It is time for another game of Shelve It or Shove It. The completely superficial way to pick books for your TBR based solely on their covers. Who am I? I am the booktube goddess, the #1 drag queen booktuber on YouTube. If you have not played along with me before, what I do is I go to Goodreads and look at the new release covers for young adult, science fiction, and fantasy. Let's go ahead and start with young adult. First up, this looks like a middle grade cover, which I adore, but I know who this author is. Kaylin Bayron. She has written Cinderella is Dead, and I had some issues with that novel, but this one, at least from the cover, I am getting Sleeping Beauty, and I did not read The Poison Heart. I'm going to have to give this one a pass and shove it. Not because of the cover, because I think this is a gorgeous cover, but because I was disappointed in the author before, and I've not seen any reviews that have made me change my mind. So, apology. Next up in young adult is This Vicious Circle by Emily Theed. And the name of this author is ringing some bells amongst the bats in this belfry, but I cannot think of what this person has written before. Her gift can save or it can kill is the tagline. And it's a woman holding a lemon. I actually like the artwork on it. I like the drop of blood on the eye in Vicious, but I'm just not getting enough of what this novel could be for me to shelve it. So that of course means I'm going to shove it. Next up is Bridget Kemmerer's Forging Silver into Stars. And it has one of those covers that I dislike, where it's basically the title, that's the feature, and just some embellishment around it. In this case, swords and arrows, and there is a brazier underneath, lighting it. And I'm just not a fan of these young adult covers, so I'm going to shove it. Next up is Our Crooked Hearts by Melissa Albert. And this is a funny cover with a rabbit as a doorknob. It looks photorealistic to me, but it's this brass rabbit head. I wonder if this is a Alice in Wonderland retelling, because if so, I would be interested. Also, Our Crooked Hearts, maybe that's a play on Queen of Hearts. The font is modern, or at least it looks like neon, so some type of contemporary setting. And I want to think this is an Alice in Wonderland book, but nothing else is telling me that from the cover. But it is so striking, that brass gold rabbit against the azure blue door. I am going to have to shelve it. And finally, in young adult, we have Hell Followed With Us by Andrew Joseph White. And this cover is bizarre. It is an angel, maybe, with 3 pairs of wings, with eyes on the wings. There's a bleeding heart. There's a lot of Christian symbolism with the bleeding stigmata palms and the heart. And it's an intriguing cover, but it is putting me off, especially with the heavy Christian symbolism. And maybe I would look at the blurb on this to see more about it. There's chains around the figure, but this is just picking books from the cover, and because of that, I'm going to shove it. Now we move on to science fiction, and our first book is The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. This is science fiction. It is a gold cover with a bouquet of blue flowers. I don't know what this could be about. And the flowers are pretty, but I'm going to have to shove it. Next up is Elsewhere by Alexis Scheitkin. And I actually really like this cover because it looks like an oil painting. Maybe it is an oil painting. And it's hard to know what is going on here. It looks like a bonfire, and there are people around it in possibly clerical garb. So I'm thinking some type of dystopian, post-apocalyptic novel. It's hard to tell what this novel could be about. It's hard to get many more clues from this or why this is in science fiction. So as much as I like the painting, I'm going to have to shove it. Next we have Drunk on All Your Strange New Words by Eddie Robson. Well, it's going to have something to do with sound. It looks like audio waves behind it, but mostly we're just going to have to decide on this novel based on the title, which is kind of intriguing. Drunk on All Your Strange New Words. I don't think it's intriguing enough, though, to shelve it, so going to have to shove it. Next we have The City Inside by Samit Basu. And I like this illustration a lot. It is vibrant. It is kind of Art Deco, at least that's what I'm getting. And other than that, I'm not sure what this could be about. There looks like that a mosque in the back. So, yeah, there's people. Yeah, this could be a Muslim science fiction story, which is very intriguing. In fact, intriguing enough that I am going to shelve it. And last in science fiction, oh dear, Thrust by Lydia Yaknevich. And it is a turtle being ridden by a figure who I assume is thrusting. I'm getting a lot of sexual innuendo here with the turtle. I am having too many questions, so I am going to have to shove it. Now we move on to fantasy. And first up is Ordinary Monsters by J.M. Miro. And there is not a monster to be seen on the cover, but rather a crow. I do like the sort of window floating in a sea of stars, but I'm not getting if this is contemporary or a new world-built world or what. So I'm going to have to shove it. Next up is The Ballad of Perilous Graves by Alex Jennings, and there is a skull and a piano, and it's skeletons playing the piano, and there's some Mardi Gras beads, maybe? Day of the Dead themed fantasy, perhaps, but a little too vague for me, so I'm going to shove it. Next we have Speaking Bones by Ken Liu. Book 4 of the Dandelion Dynasty. Now, several people have recommended the Dandelion Dynasty to me, so if I choose this, it would be to read the first book in the series. But right now I have not read any of these books, but the cover is pretty interesting with sort of those fruits and this skull. It's very striking, but because it is book 4, I'm going to shove it. Next up is For the Throne by Hannah Whitten. There is a cutout of a woman's head, and I guess it's on a body. There is a key. There is a crown. This could be, there are thorns. So, unless this is a Sleeping Beauty retelling, it could be any type of fantasy. And there's a wolf. Red Riding Hood? I don't know. I do not know. But I am not interested to find out, so I'm going to shove it. And finally, in fantasy is A Mirror Mended by Alex Harrow. Now, Alex E. Harrow is a name that has been recommended to me several times, and the cover is striking. I am getting Snow White, but with a twist, A Mirror Mended. I think it is striking enough, and I am curious enough. Oh, looks like there's a little fairy in the word mirror. I think I'm going to have to... Oh, I hope it's not a sequel. Well, I'm going to shelve it. So we have 3 choices, my darlings. We have Our Crooked Hearts by Melissa Albert. We have City Inside by Sanat Basu, and Mirror Mended by Alex Harrow. Oh, I do not know. Now, before I said City Inside could it be a Muslim-inspired science fiction, I got that from the buildings and it looked like prayer rugs. I could be totally wrong. But you know how much I liked The City of Brass by S.A. Chakraborty, which was sort of a Muslim-inspired fantasy, so curious about that one. Our Crooked Hearts. I am hoping so much this is a Alice in Wonderland-inspired novel, but I wasn't quite sure from the cover, and who knows what we would get. And finally, Mirror Mended by Alex Harrow, an author I've been wanting to read for a long time. I'm kind of wary that this may be a sequel, and it looks like a Snow White retelling. And City Inside, I have no idea what type of science fiction this could be. It could go anywhere without reading any type of blurb. You know, I think I'm going to go out on a limb and go with Our Crooked Hearts by Melissa Albert because I want to know if it is a Alice in Wonderland retelling. So I have just opened up the Goodreads blurb and it says The Suburbs right now. 17-year-old Ivy's summer break kicks off with an accident, a punishment, and a mystery. A stranger whose appearance in the middle of the road in the middle of the night heralds a string of increasingly unsettling events. As the days pass, Ivy grapples with eerie offerings, corroded memories, and a secret she's always known, that there's more to her mother than meets the eye. The city back then. Dana has always been perceptive, and the summer she turned 16, with the help of her best friend and an ambitious older girl, Her gifts bloom into a heady fling with the supernatural. Set in a city of magical possibilities and secret mystics, as the trio's aspirations darken, they find themselves spreading toward a violent breaking point. Years after it began, Ivy and Dana's shared story will come down to a reckoning among a daughter, a mother, and the dark forces they never should have messed with. Okay, I do not think this is going to be an Alice in Wonderland inspired retelling at all, but I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. Nonetheless, it sounds quite interesting. What's fascinating to me is that this is a young adult that seems to focus on a mother-daughter relationship more than a young adult romance, which is the usual trope we find in young adult. It is a contemporary and it's giving me some horror vibes, which I'm kind of excited about. A stranger, a mystery, supernatural events, corroded memories, secret mystics. Okay, I am sold. I am sold. I am looking forward to reading Our Crooked Hearts. I want to know what books you would have chosen based solely on their covers. Let me know down in the comments, and while you're there, please like this video and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Until we meet again, may all the books you read be blessed.